Ooh, take a look at this. That woman says, I don't like olives. I don't like olives. Look, these are called olives. Do you like olives? I love olives. Okay, let's say this guy doesn't like olives. Okay, and she says, I don't like olives. What should he say? Should he say me either or me neither? Which one? What's the difference between either and neither? Do you know? Well, in this lesson, I'm going to teach you. Hey, if you like getting tips like this, I'd be so happy if you subscribe to my channel right down there. Okay, so he should say me neither. Me neither. Or neither do I. Neither do I. Both of these mean the same thing. Okay, they mean the same thing. Or he could say this. I don't like olives either. I don't like olives either. Okay, these three options are good. So if someone says something negative, like I don't like pizza or I don't like Donald Trump, okay, then you could say me neither or neither do I or I don't like Donald Trump either. Okay, maybe you didn't know how to use these words, either, neither. A lot of English learners don't really use these words. They might say me too, me too. But these are very great words to learn in English, so you should definitely learn these. Now, why do we have either here, but neither here? Well, it's because the word don't is there. Okay, so when you see the word don't, you have to use the word either. Either, not neither. Okay, so don't either. You can't say don't neither. That doesn't make sense. Don't neither. That's just weird. You have to say don't either. I don't like olives either. Okay, so those are your options for responding to a negative statement. If someone says, I don't like something, then you can say one of these. Okay, now I just want to mention the pronunciation of these words. Okay, either, neither, or you can say either, neither. Okay, either, either, neither, neither. It's your choice. It doesn't matter at all. Okay, so what's the difference between either and neither? What's the difference? Well, let's say I invite you to my house for some coffee, okay? And I say, would you like to come over at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m.? Okay, what should you say? Well, you could say either of those times works for me. Either of those times works for me. Or you could say neither of those times works for me. These are opposites. They're opposites. If you say either of those times, that means, you might come at 10 or 11, right? You're going to let me decide. If I ask you what works best for you, and you say either of those times work, okay, that means you could come at 10 or you could come at 11. Then I might say, sure, well, let's go for 10. Let's aim for 10 o'clock, okay? But if you say neither of those times works for me, that means this one doesn't work and that one doesn't work. We have to come up with a new time, a different time, maybe 1 o'clock or something like that, okay? So that's the difference between neither and either. Neither means none of them. Either means one or the other, okay? Now, I want to mention something. Do you have a grammar textbook at home? Do you like learning about English grammar? Well, English grammar books always give examples like this. Neither nor, right? Like this. Neither whiskey nor wine will take away the sadness in my heart. Right? Neither whiskey nor wine will take away the sadness in my heart. But beer will, right? I'm just kidding. Beer probably won't take away the sadness either, right? But what does this sentence mean? This sentence means whiskey won't and wine won't, right? Neither of them will take away the sadness in my heart. Now, the problem with this is that this kind of sentence is very rare in English. So I don't like it when grammar textbooks teach things that aren't really real life English. I never use the word nor. I never use it in my speech. I would never say a sentence like this in real life. And nobody else would either. You will never hear a sentence like this in real life. But it's important that you understand it, right? Because you might read it in a book somewhere, or you might hear it somewhere. So it's important that you understand it, okay? So the word nor just means or. It means the same as or, right? Neither whiskey nor wine. Basically, it means whiskey or wine won't, cure your problems in life, right? So it's sort of it's an old-fashioned way to speak. Maybe like 100 years ago, maybe they would speak like this. I'm not sure. I wasn't alive 100 years ago. But you know what? It's sort of like the word whom. Whom. That word is a dying word in English. It's dying. But there are some people, especially English teachers, who are trying to keep that word alive, who are trying to force English learners like you to learn that word. Well, native English speakers don't use that word. I never use that word in my speech or in my writing. So in my opinion, it's sort of like, it's like a film camera. Do you remember film cameras? Actually, my first camera was a film camera. I remember when I was 13 years old, I bought a film camera. It was great. Okay, but the problem is, they invented smartphones, and now people can just take pictures with their smartphones, right? Smartphones are just better. They're more advanced. Millions of people use smartphones. I mean, there are still a lot of people, though, who use film cameras. Did you know that? There are thousands of people who still use these cameras. And they believe that film photography is the real photography, right? That's all the other stuff, like your cell phone pictures, though that's not real. The real photography is this. Well, it's the same for people, who use the word whom. They think this is the only way English should be. You need to learn whom. Well, times change. Language evolves. Young people don't use the word whom anymore. So it's sort of pointless. Just like the word nor. Neither nor. We don't use that. Okay, so either is common. Either is very common. Neither nor, like I said, is not... it's very uncommon. It's not common at all. But the word neither is common in these situations. You only see the word neither like this. Me neither, or neither do I. Okay, that's it. That's all you need to know for the word neither. Neither do I, me neither. Or you might hear it in a situation like this. Let's say you are at a shoe store. You're buying some shoes, right? The person who works at the shoe store might ask you, which pair fits better? Which pair fits better? And you could say, neither do, or neither of them fit. Neither of them fit, right? This pair doesn't fit, and that pair doesn't fit. Neither of them fit, right? But I think it would be just as common to say this. They both don't fit. They both don't fit, okay? So if you ask me, which pair fits better? I might say, actually, they both don't fit. They both don't fit, okay? So there are different ways you can say things in English, right? You could say this, or you could say neither of them fit, okay? Now let's take a look at another example. Okay, let's say that woman asks this guy, would you like tacos or nachos? Do you like tacos or nachos? He might say, neither of those options appeal to me. I can't handle spicy food. Okay, neither of those options appeal. Appeal means desire. Okay, he doesn't want either of those options. Why? Because he can't handle spicy food. Maybe his stomach, maybe he's allergic to spicy food, right? So, tacos and nachos are usually a little bit spicy. Mexican food is a bit spicy, right? I love Mexican food. Do you like Mexican food? Okay, but she's giving him a choice, right? Would you like tacos or nachos? There are two options here, right? That's why he says neither of those appeal to me. Neither, because there's two. Now, what if she said this? What if she said, would you like tacos, nachos, or curry? Now there are three options. So he can't say neither anymore. He has to say this. None of those options appeal to me. I can't handle spicy food, right? None, because there's more than two. He can't say neither, right? If there's two, you say neither. If there's more than two, you say none. Okay. Now, I want to mention a grammar point here. Have you ever heard of subject-verb agreement? This is a very important thing that you need to know in English grammar. You probably know this already, right? John is, John and Mary are. Why is it are here and is there? Well, here, John, that's singular, right? It's just one. Here, John and Mary, there are two people, right? So it needs this verb here. John and Mary are. Now that's easy, right? That's very easy and it's very important. But what do we do with these words here? Either and neither. Are they singular or plural? What do you think? Look at this. Neither of these books is or are very good. Neither of these books is very good. Neither of these books are very good. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Like 99% of native English speakers would not know the answer to this question. They wouldn't know. Okay. Neither of these books is or are, they wouldn't know. Okay. So with these words, this isn't very important. If native English speakers don't know something, it's not very important for you to know unless you need to pass a grammar exam or something like that. I mean, then maybe you should do some research about these things. Okay, this is actually, it's called indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns, words like each, either, neither, any, some. Okay, so if you want to practice with this, just search on Google for indefinite pronouns practice or quiz or exercise. Okay, but this is what you should search for, right, on Google. But you know what? With these words here, either, neither, honestly, it's confusing, even for me. I make mistakes in this all the time. I think, in normal English grammar, they would say if you use the word neither, then you should use is, right? So neither of these books is very good. Okay, I think that would be sort of like classic English grammar. Neither of these books is very good, but I think in spoken English, I think this would be more common. Neither of these books are very good. Neither of these books are very good because this is plural here, these books, right? You're talking about two books. Neither of these books are very good. I think this would be more common in normal life, like real life English. But take a look at this. Okay, neither the cat nor the dog is or are trying to catch a mouse. Neither the cat nor the dog is. I think in this case, is more natural. Is more natural because both of these are singular, right? There's only one cat and one dog. right? Neither the cat nor the dog. But if this was plural, if there were like two dogs here, then it would be better to say are. Neither the cat nor the dogs are trying to catch a mouse. Okay, but you know what? Like I said, this, in my opinion, is not very important with the words, each, either, neither, these words. Like for normal sentences, subject-verb agreement is very important, right? Like you can't say, Julie like cookies. Julie like, no, it has to be Julie likes, because Julie is one person, right? Or you'd say they like cookies. They like, you can't say they likes, because they is, more than one person, right? So that is important, but with these specific words, it's confusing. It's confusing. They're called indefinite. Indefinite means we don't really know what we're talking about, right? Now, you know what bothers me, what makes me angry is when English teachers force English learners like you to live up to a higher standard than native speakers. Okay, if they say, you have to learn to use the word whom, you have to learn how to use neither nor. Look, honestly, I have a master's education in English, right? And I'm telling you honestly, nobody knows how to use those words. Very, very few people. So why should you have to learn those words? It doesn't make sense. It's not fair. Okay? Look, you could get a job at a bank here in Canada. You could get a job as a politician. You could do anything and not know how to use the word whom or neither nor. Really, I'm an English teacher and I don't use these words. So it's not a big deal. Don't, just throw your grammar textbook in the garbage. If you don't like it, if it's boring, if it's not going to help you in real life, then it's useless. Just take a match and burn it. Have a textbook burning party. Actually, college students here in Canada, they do something called like a textbook burning party where like they after their semester is done or after they graduate from university, they take all their textbooks and they burn them because it's such a waste of nobody likes textbooks. I hate textbooks, to be honest. Do you like textbooks? If you do, let me know down there in the comments. But personally, I hate textbooks. I think the best way to learn a language or learn anything is through real life examples. Real examples. That's why I try to give you lots of examples here at Mad English TV. So let's look at another example. She says, I'm really craving ice cream right now. I'm really craving. Craving means desire. I want ice cream so bad. I want ice cream. So this guy says, if you could have any flavor of ice cream right now, what would it be? If you could have any flavor of ice cream right now, what would it be? And she thinks for a bit, says, I'd either take chocolate chip cookie dough or maple walnut. I'd either take chocolate chip cookie dough, that's one flavor of ice cream, or maple walnut, that's another flavor of ice cream. Both of these are amazing. If you come to Canada, or any other country probably too, you should try maple walnut ice cream or chocolate chip cookie dough. Okay, now look at this word here, either. She could use this word even if there are more than two. Like, let's say they're at a store and she's looking at all the options. She could say, I'd either take chocolate chip cookie dough, maple walnut, mint chocolate chip, or maybe vanilla. Okay, so, sometimes with this word, it's more than one. In a situation like this, when you're trying to think about it, I'd either take that one or that one or that one or that one. So it doesn't just need to be two options. Okay, so he might say, yeah, I'd take either of those as well. I'd take either of those, right? Now, in this case, he's saying either because she only gave two options, all right? If she had listed four options, 3 or 4 options, then he has to say any. I'd take any of those as well, right? So if she just said 2 options, he'd say, yeah, I'd take either of those as well. But if she was just thinking and saying a bunch of options, then he would say, yeah, I'd take any of those as well. Okay. Now let's take a look at one more example here. She says, I would suggest getting a job or doing some traveling before starting school. Okay, so let's say this guy is going to start school. She might say, I would suggest getting a job or doing some traveling before starting school. She's giving him some advice, what he should do before he starts school. Maybe a 4-year degree or a 10-year degree. I don't know. Do people have 10-year degrees? A doctor is 8 years. How many years did you study? Let me know down there. Do you have a degree? So I want you to make a sentence with either and neither. Okay, that's your homework for today. Make 2 sentences, one with either and one with neither. Post them right down there in the comments as usual. And I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV.